What's up everyone, my name is Marie, welcome to my channel, and welcome to another speed build. So for today's video, I am building a Tudor home in the world of Windenburg, the world that came with Get Together. I'm sure you all know that. So I am building a Tudor home on, I think it's a 20 by 20 lot. It's the lot where by default the cafe, it's called the Shrieking Llama. I think you can see it in the upper left corner. But by default, there is like a cafe or a bar or something on this lot. But I just bulldozed it because I think it's such a cute lot. Like it's one of the cutest lots in the game. It's in the foresty area, but still not too far away from everything. And I just think that this is a perfect lot to build a small family house. So that's what I did for this build. I really wanted the build to fit in with the rest of the world, so I did decide to build a Tudor home. I don't really use those houses too often, so I thought it would be quite fun to do that for this video. And I do always think that those houses are very pretty. So I just wanted to try it myself this time and I just wanted to see what I could come up with. So it is a Tudor home that is a little bit more modern looking. I use a lot of brighter colors, lighter wood tones and whites and grays and stuff like that. And on the inside as well. So it's very bright and light looking. And it is a little bit more, I guess you could say, to me at least, it looks a little bit more modern than most Tudor style cottages you come across, or at least that I come across. And that's really the look that I wanted to try and go for. And yeah, I'm really happy with the way this turned out. I think the roofing is really fun. It's really something different. I was just really playing around with the roofing a lot and just see what it would end up looking like. And I do really like the wraparound little porch in front of the house. And then I also, I placed a little porch in the back of the house. So as you can see, the house did take up most of the lot. Their backyard is really narrow, but that's okay. I mean, look where this lot is placed. Like there is, basically you have this whole forest as your backyard. So I think it's fine to just have a smaller backyard on the lot itself. They do have some space in the front of the lot, so I did end up placing a little sitting area or a little picnic table in front of the house as well, in the front yard, I guess you could say. But yeah, here you can see me picking out the siding, the bricks or the stone, and combined with the paneling from Get Together. I used a lot of stuff from Get Together actually for this house because I did want to make a Tudor style home. So the things that come with Get Together basically are all in that sort of style. So I did end up using the windows from Get Together and the siding from Get Together. But I was really enjoying that because I don't really use those items too often, because I don't really build in this kind of style too often. I mean, I like building cottages a lot, like tiny cottages and stuff like that, but not really in this specific style. So yeah, I was just really enjoying building in this style, and I really like the shape of the house. I think it looks so like cute and friendly and almost a little bit like fairy tale-ish, if that makes sense. I guess that makes sense because Tudor style homes are usually the type of homes that you would see like in fairy tales and stuff. At least in my mind, it's that way. So that's why it looked that way to me, I guess. And I really decorated the outside of the house with lots of planter boxes, like on the windows and stuff like that. And yeah, I really enjoyed that sunroom as well on the left of the house. I placed a dining table there, but you'll see that later on once we get to the furnishing of the house. So I did furnish this house for a couple of grandparents and their grandkid. So someone left a comment on one of my older videos, or I think it was on the Generations Family Home video. Someone left a comment recently, and they asked if I could build a house for a couple of grandparents that take care of their grandkid, or a couple of grandparents that have their child and their grandkid living with them. And I thought that was such a cute idea, so thank you so much for that idea. I did use your idea for this build, so what I had in mind for this build was a couple of grandparents who have to take care of their grandkid for one reason or another. Maybe something really sad happened. Maybe the parents of the kid passed away or something like that. I mean, that's really sad and you don't want that to happen in real life. But, I guess that is a thing that happens in life. So I thought, why not take that sort of storyline into The Sims and build a house for a family like that. And I was just really enjoying that idea. So basically they did have something really sad happen to them. The parents of the grandkid passed away. And so, of course, the grandparents, they took in their grandkid and they are really taking care of the kid now and trying to give them the best life possible. And I think the grandkid would still really have an amazing life growing up in this cute house in the forest, lots of nature, lots of space to run around and play and stuff like that. So I do think that the kid is very happy, and I do think that the grandparents, they took the grandkid in a long time ago. I think maybe even as an infant or something like that. So I do think that the grandkid really doesn't know any better than that they are living here and growing up with their grandparents. And I also think that the grandparents are quite young still. I mean, in the game, obviously, they would be elderly Sims. But I do think that at heart, they're still very young and active, and they do a lot of activities with the grandkid. Like they go for walks and they go for like hikes and they go ride their bike, stuff like that. I do think they're very active and they do spend a lot of time with the grandkid to try and give it the best, the best time as possible as a kid. And I didn't really think of a gender for the kid. I didn't really know if it was going to be a boy or a girl, and it really doesn't matter. But when I was furnishing their bedroom, I did use a lot of blues and yellows and stuff like that. But when I was furnishing it, obviously I was thinking about what kind of kid it would be, and I thought it would be a very outdoorsy kid that likes to play sports and stuff like that, and is very active and likes to be outside. But it could either be a boy or a girl, really, it doesn't matter. And then for the grandparents, I was just thinking a man and a woman, but obviously that doesn't really matter at all either. It could be any gender, really. It really doesn't matter. I always feel like I have to clarify that or something like that because I don't want to come across ignorant or something like that. I'm always a little bit worried about that. So I always want to try and explain the storyline that I have in my mind. But for this build, really, the gender really doesn't matter. And what I was also thinking is that these people, they have two pets, a cat and a dog. So I was thinking maybe the grandkid did have a dog at home with his parents when he or she was still living with their parents. They had a puppy, and then obviously the grandparents took in the puppy as well. And the grandparents themselves, they already had a cat. So there is also a place for a cat and a dog in this house. I did put all the necessities that you would need for those animals in the house as well. So to me, it just feels really just like a cozy home. It's a small family, but they're so happy with just the three of them and then the two pets. And yeah, I don't know. I thought the house was just perfect for a family like that. So as you can see, I moved on to the furnishing of the house. I really did try and make it look bright and not too colorful. I mean, there's pops of color in the house, but you'll see that later on. But I did try and use lots of lighter wood tones in the furniture because there's also lighter wood tones in the flooring and in the windows. And I always really like the look and feel of lighter wood tones. I have been really into using lighter wood tones lately. So I hope it's not too repetitive in my builds. I'm not quite sure. Actually, I'm not that aware of it. But I don't know, I just really enjoy using lighter wood tones because to me it just looks so friendly and it's easier for me to combine it with different colors and textures and stuff like that. I don't know really why that is. But yeah, basically I just really enjoy using lighter wood tones. And I also was really enjoying furnishing this living room. I think it looks so, I don't know, so calming. And I know I have been using this couch and those that sofa and those chairs a lot. I hope I'm not overusing them. But I just can't help myself. I'm kind of over the couches that we have in the game. I don't know. I think a lot of them are so difficult to use. And at first, I didn't really like this one either because to me it looked kind of a little bit too old-fashioned or something. But now, I don't know. It has been growing on me and I really like the lighter pastel-y colored swatches of them. So I have been using that couch and those chairs a lot lately, but yeah, for a grandparent's house, I just thought that they looked perfect. And it really worked out perfectly in this living room and with this color scheme, really. And here you can see me placing down the dining table in the sunroom. I was having a little bit of fun with those chairs. I was really liking the swatch with the blue and the orange because I was thinking this room really needs some kind of color in it because it's a little bit too neutral and too soft to my liking. So I did just want a small pop of color in there. So and since the couch is also a lighter toned blue, I thought I want to use some more blue in here, and I just used those blue and orange chairs. I'm not quite sure what pack they're from. I think they're from Seasons or Cats and Dogs. I did use a lot of stuff from Cats and Dogs and Seasons in this house as well, because it just really goes with the whole grandparents' house kind of style, in my opinion at least. And since they also have a cat and a dog, I don't know, it just really goes together. It really all just goes together. And I cluttered up that little cabinet there, and I just put a lot of knickknacks in this house, but not too much clutter, but there's still some clutter like everywhere. And here I created a little study area / playroom for the kid. So I do think that the kid is the one that uses this computer the most. I don't think the grandparents really do anything with the computer at this point. I am not quite sure actually what they're like. Would they be retired or would they have a job still? I don't know. I feel like maybe in the past, maybe they owned like a shop or something, a flower shop or a bookstore or something like that. Like in the more downtown area of Windenburg. That could be really cute actually. Maybe they did own a bookstore or something previously and they sold it or something. Because they were getting older and because they wanted all the time they had in the world to take care of their grandkids, something like that. So I do think that they sold it and they are now a little bit more on the wealthy side of things, so they can afford this house still and take care of the grandkids, something like that. But you can always let me know what you would think would fit this family. Are the grandparents still working? Do they own a shop? Do they do something else? Like, I don't know. You can always let me know. I always love hearing you guys' take on storylines and stuff like that, obviously, because I used one of you guys' your ideas to build this house, which I'm very grateful for. So if you do have any storylines or something like that in mind, you can always just let me know because I love hearing those. But here you can see I moved on to the kitchen space. It's quite a funky space. And I was struggling a little bit with the shape of the kitchen as well, because the kitchen is quite small compared to the rest of the house. But then I realized I still needed a space for the laundry room, and the shape of the kitchen actually worked out perfectly. So you can see that I placed a couple more counters to go around the corner next to the fridge there, and I did place a washer and a dryer stacked on top of each other in the other corner. So, I mean, the counters are shaped quite weirdly. They go around a corner like twice. It's like a Z shape, if that makes any sense. But I don't know. I think it worked out perfectly fine for this build, and I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with the colors in here. I did use an older looking fridge and an older looking stove because I was thinking the kitchen hasn't been renovated for too long. I think it's quite maybe the kitchen could be a little bit outdated. Not too outdated. I mean, I love those counters and they don't look like old or old-fashioned in any way, but still you can kind of see, like, I kind of get the look and feel of a family house slash grandparents kind of house with those curtains and those knickknacks everywhere. And yeah, I don't know, I was just really liking the vibe of this kitchen slash laundry area. And then I realized I also still needed a space to put down the food bowls for the pets. And that was that could fit perfectly in here because I did have some space left. I was thinking, what am I going to do with the rest of the space in this room? Because it is quite a large room for the kitchen to be in. And then I was like, of course I need a pet bowl and stuff like that. So you'll see me place those down in a little while. And it just all fit so perfect in this house. It all came together so perfectly. In my opinion, at least that's what it felt like to me. So I was really happy about it. And I just think that this kitchen looks so lived in. I would think that the family spends a lot of time in the kitchen in here with the pets and just cooking and sitting around and just talking to each other. I don't know. I could just really also see the kid sitting at the little kitchen island there. I was searching for the word right there. I'm sorry, but I could just really see the kids sitting there doing their homework while one of the grandparents is cooking up dinner or something like that, while playing with the dog and the cat, something like that. So yeah, that just really felt so realistic to me and so cute. And yeah, I placed a litter box down there right outside the kitchen door. There is 2 doors to the outside in the kitchen, which is a little bit weird maybe. I initially, I'm sorry, I can't speak. But I wanted to place a door to the backyard in the living room area somewhere, but that just didn't really work out. It didn't really look right. It didn't really fit anywhere properly. So I was just like, you know what? It's okay. It kind of feels like the kitchen and laundry room are 2 different sections of that room. So there is a door to the outside in either of those spaces. So it's okay. It all works out perfectly fine. Like, it's meant to be that way. So I just kept it that way. And here you can see I moved on to the upstairs. I'm trying to decorate the landing space here, but I was really annoyed by the fact that the roof is clipping into the wall weirdly in a couple of places. I don't know why that happens. I always hate it so much when that happens. If you remove the trim around the edge of the roof, it will go away. So it has something to do with the trim around the roof, but I don't want to remove that. And it doesn't really work with when you hold down, like when you hold down shift for some things, it will only go for one side of the wall. But for the roofs, it doesn't really work that way. It's either you're gonna have a trim around the whole roof, or you're not gonna have a trim at all. So I was just like, you know what? It's just the landing area. I can live with this. So I didn't spend too much time there to decorate that because I was just really annoyed by the look and feel of that space for some reason. But it's okay. Here you can see that I moved on to the grandparents' bedroom. I did want to make this room look a little bit old-fashioned in a way because I realized that, to my liking, the house was still looking a little bit too much for a quote-unquote regular family. So I did want to make the bedroom of the grandparents a little bit more like old-fashioned, a little bit more like it's a grandparent's bedroom, if that makes any sense. So I did use those curtains. I think those curtains are from Cats and Dogs. I've never used them before because they're definitely not my style in any way, but that made it perfect for what I wanted to achieve in this room. So I did use them, and I really do like that black and gold swatch of them. For some reason, I've never used it before. I didn't really actually know that it existed, but I was just playing around with the curtains, and then I found this swatch, and I was like, yes, this is perfect. I need this. So I kind of based the color scheme off of those curtains. I used black and a couple of details in the rug and stuff like that, and then lots of white as well, just to brighten up the space a little bit. And I really like the color scheme in that bedroom. And here you can see that the grandparents, they do have an ensuite. I couldn't fit a bathtub in here, or at least, I mean, I probably could have, but It just made it a little bit too cramped together, and I didn't want that for the bathroom. So I just gave them a shower, and it all worked out perfectly fine. And then there is another hall bathroom upstairs as well. I didn't record furnishing that one because I basically just used the same furniture in that bathroom, but it's right across from this kid's bedroom that I'm furnishing right now. So the kid doesn't have an ensuite, but he or she they do have their own bathroom basically. And then there's another half bathroom downstairs that only has a toilet and a sink, but I did record that. So you saw that previously in this video. But yeah, so there's 2.5 baths in this house, and that works out perfectly fine. I do realize now that I'm saying this, by the way, that I didn't place a tub for the dog. So the dog does need a tub, but you could easily switch out the shower for a bathtub in the second bathroom upstairs here that I didn't record, but there's a little bit more space in there. So you could easily just swap out the shower for a shower tub combo or something like that. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that I didn't place a tub in this build until just now. But that's okay. You can just swap it out. It will work out fine. But here you can see that I was playing around with the colors in this bedroom. I was really set on using this carpet. I've never used this carpet before, but I have been having so much fun using dark blues in my interiors lately. I don't know why, but I am in love with the combination of blue and yellow. I think that goes for a lot of people. I think that has something to do with the colors. I don't know anything about that. But yeah. Blue and yellow is one of my favorite color combinations in the world. And for kids' rooms, I just think it's so perfect to use that color combination because it's quite bold. You can make it as bold as you want it to be, but it is quite bold. So I was really liking using that color combo in this room, and I just totally talked over it. But I cluttered it up with a lot of stuff, a lot of random toys everywhere. And they do have their own little desk. Maybe when they grow up, they can get a laptop and place the laptop there. Lots of toys and posters and sports equipment, stuff like that. Just to make it look like the kid is really active and loves being outdoors. And just really a kid like that. I thought that would be really cute. And here you can see I moved on to the backyard. As you can see, I already mentioned it before, but it's a very narrow little backyard. But I do think that kind of gives it character. I really like the fence, like the stone fence around the backyard. I think that fence came with Get Together as well, so it kind of goes perfectly with the exterior of the house. And I did place a clothing line in the backyard. I think that just looked perfect for this sort of house and this sort of family. And I just landscaped it a little bit. I did give them a little dining table outside, and I placed down a barbecue. I was really struggling to find that word again. A grill or a barbecue, whatever you want to call it. So they do have basically everything they need. They don't really have like a sofa or a couch or something like that outside. But that's okay because I wanted space for those jungle monkey bars or whatever you want to call them for the kid, and some planter boxes. Maybe the grandpa or the grandma is really into gardening. And I actually did give them a little bench on the front porch here. So they do have a little place to sit down and relax on the outside of the house as well. But as you can see, we moved on into screenshots. So I just wanted to say that you can download this house off the gallery if you wanted to. My username on the gallery is Simmarysims. You can also follow me on Instagram if you'd like. My Instagram handle is @Simmarysims. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next build. Bye!